What's up, mama? You know how you want to rock some healthy, happy meals with your family at the dinner table or supper table, whatever one you say, right? But when you sit down a meal at the table, you hear that like, I don't like that, right? You got some picky eaters that you're eating with. Give me the next 5 minutes because I'm going to teach you how to get your entire family on board with healthy eating and have them think it was their idea so that you can feel good about what you're feeding your family and also rock your happy place in your body. My name is Amanda Fisher of AmandaFisherCoaching.com. I help moms just like you create badass habits, self-confidence in your body again through simple but powerful food and movement strategies like I'm going to teach you today to get you feeling like rocket launching your way back into feeling good in your body again, energetic, happy, strong, confident, and also calm and at ease. Without taking a lot of freaking time, right? Using simple freaking methods. So we're going to dive into that today. I'm going to teach you how to get your family on board with healthy eating and make it easy, make it simple, right? But before I dive in, I want to do a little bit of housekeeping, okay? You, during any one of these live streams, can ask any questions that you have as we go, right? Drop them in the comments as I'm chatting. And treat this like a conversation between you and I, okay? So we get to know each other and so I can help you out and so I can kind of get to know what's going on in your situation and maybe point you in the right direction, right? And number two, I want to make sure that you know about 5-Minute Meal Plan, the simplest freaking system for busy AF moms who want to rock healthy and satisfying meals for their families, but do it in a really quick and easy way so they can get back to living your life instead of planning and cooking and spending so much time and overwhelmed doing it, right? I want you to know that that's available. You can find that at AmandaFisherCoaching.com/plan. I'm going to link it in the comments when this live stream is over as well. Okay. So again, as I dive in, ask questions, tell me what's going on for you, tell me what resonates with you, and we'll just kind of get going. Okay. So here's what I want you to know. Rocking healthy and meals with your family and like getting them on board and getting them used to it, it's like kind of a 3-part process, okay? That might sound like a big deal, but I also want you to know that it's not, right? And it doesn't have to feel that way. And how you're actually feeling is probably really, really normal about healthy eating with your family, okay? So I'm going to teach you the 3 parts that you need to know. One part is mindset. We got to talk about mindset here from your perspective and from your family's perspective, right? We need to talk about skill set. Like, what is the thing that you need to get good at to get your family's buy-in for healthy eating, right? And kind of have them think like, this was all my idea. I'm healthy eating on my own, right? And you're like, duh, I totally did that, right? And the third thing is habit. A simple method that I'm going to teach you how to do each and every meal to do a quick balance and healthing up of everything on your plate. Okay. So mindset, skill set, and a habit, right, is what we need to get this show on the road for you guys sitting down at a meal together and feeling like, yes, this is all coming together. Finally, this is like, I'm doing it. My family's eating healthy. That feels good to me. I feel good with the foods that we're all eating. I also feel really energetic and fueled and satisfied in my body. This is a feel-good place, okay? So here we go. Mindset of family healthy eating. This is huge because I think this particular thing puts a lot of pressure on moms, right? Puts a lot of pressure on moms and creates this like sense of like urgency, okay? So here's what I want to, sorry, I had to click out of something there. Here's what I want to share with you about mindset of healthy eating with your family and getting them like the picky eater club at your table to like kind of get to a good place. It starts with you getting to a good place, right? It's actually, I don't want to like say, take some ownership here, but we're going to take some ownership here, right? Part of healthy eating with your family, if it feels like you're switching from a little bit more like Jack's Pizza and macaroni and cheese and quick items, right? That are fine sometimes, but if it feels like you've been leaning more on that type of stuff, right? And you want to kind of get away, like still enjoy those things, but move away towards more fresh foods, more vegetables, more proteins and whatever, right? Part of the first shift that we need to make has nothing to do with our family, right? I mean, it does, but it's mostly our own internal thinking, okay? So when we're like, I need my family to eat healthy because I want to eat healthy and I'm not cooking 2 different suppers and I want this all to work well in my family, part of it is a mindset shift first and foremost within ourselves, okay? And here's what I want you to talk about. I had a really amazing family doctor for my kids, when like the early years growing up. And she was like, hey, I just want to remind you of this. Healthy eating is a marathon with a family. It's not a sprint, right? When we sit down and we're like, we're going to start eating healthy, right? And you can literally hear your family groan like, oh my God, everything's going to be gross. I don't like that and whatever. Raise your hand if you've ever heard that before, right? You know what that feels like after you've just laid down like a pretty awesome meal. It's like we create this, like, I just slaved away in the kitchen. I just made this whole meal. And you guys, like, we put this pressure on ourselves for them to like it, right? For them to like it. And it's almost like if this one meal doesn't go well, it's all for nothing. My family will never eat healthy, right? And so that simple mindset shift, yeah, Sarah, awesome. That simple mindset shift that our family doctor gave us like years ago was like, it sticks with me about literally every situation in my life, right? It's like this whole eating together at the supper table is a marathon, right? If you got young kids, you're trying to build and, help them build and create awesome eating habits, not for this one meal, right? Not for this one tiny occurrence, this one 20-minute snapshot in their entire life. You're allowing them to grow over the course of their entire life while they're with you in your house, right? How many years is that? Like 18-ish, but way past that when they come back to visit. This is not a one meal wonder that we're trying to, create perfection around. And then when they don't like something at that meal, everything's lost. Everything's garbage. This doesn't work. They don't get it. This isn't happening. We need to be able to make that mindset shift first and foremost with ourselves first. Eating healthy is not a sprint, aka it's not about the one meal. Healthy eating inside of your family and you feeling good about it is about the ebb and the flow over the long term, aka it's the marathon, right? We're playing the long game here. It's okay if people don't like things. You might find this really amazing healthy recipe, and then when you make it and then you sit down and eat it, you're like, well, this is on the never make again list, right? That's okay. Your family is going to experience that and you're going to experience that. Take the pressure off this needing to be like perfect right out of the gate. Raise your hand if you got that perfectionist tendency inside of yourself, right? Raise your hand on that one. It's not serving anybody, right? Take the pressure off. One meal doesn't wreck anything. So we're playing the long game here, right? We're running the marathon and not the sprint. So let's just kind of like tuck that back in the back behind, like back in there and remember it and pull that out for the times where this goes like you had a defeating meal, right? Or something like that. 2, there's another mindset shift that I want you to make that piggybacks off of that. And this is about you and not about your family, okay? You're allowed to be selfish here. You're allowed to declare your own stuff here. And this is absolutely, totally perfect and fine, okay? Just because it feels like they don't want to eat healthy doesn't mean that you can't still want to, right? And doesn't mean that you can't still have this desire to. And doesn't mean that you can't not eat something that's like healthy and tasty and that you feel good about, even if they're not on board, right? So there's 2 parts that us moms need to own. Number 1, this whole thing is a marathon and it's not a sprint. Number 2, just because somebody's like, I don't like freaking carrots or I don't like what you served, doesn't mean that you can't not like it. It doesn't make it wrong for you to desire those things for yourself. It is absolutely, totally, perfectly acceptable for you to want this stuff for yourself, right? Sometimes we as moms like to say, nobody else in my family likes it, so I'm just going to shove my needs under the rug. And that's not okay either, right? When you want to, own it, right? And make that and take that and be okay with that for yourself, right? So those are the 2 mindset shifts that we kind of need to like take ownership of first before we like really start to get into this like healthy eating for family type stuff, right? Marathon, not a sprint. And just because everybody else says gross or is not on board or is not excited about it doesn't mean that we can't be excited about it. Doesn't mean that we still shouldn't want it. It's totally awesome if we do, right? Okay. Skill set. Let's dive into skill set. So we talked about mindset, getting our head right about it all. Skill set. I want to talk to you about this. So often we make healthy meals and we're like, this is, look at, I have this amazing menu. I have this menu all put together. It's all healthy. It's all perfectly balanced. Everything's great. Oh my goodness, right? And then you lay it down meal after meal after meal after meal after meal on the table. And then you hear, that's gross, that's gross, that's gross, that's gross. Nobody's getting on board. Meanwhile, you're getting pissed, right? And you're feeling like they're hopeless. Why do I have picky eaters? Why does that mom's kid eat vegetables and mine doesn't, or whatever, like vice versa, right? We start comparing ourselves and telling ourselves stories about how it's not working, right? How it's not working when really it is. So here's the question. I'm going to turn the tables on you. I feel like this is kind of like a ownership type of a live stream today, okay? Like taking ownership and personal responsibility in this situation. How do you personally feel? I know how I feel. I'm like that inner rebel, right? How do you feel when people tell you what to do? I lose my marbles when people tell me what to do. When people ask me what to do or ask for my opinion, I am a happy girl. I am golden. Life's good. I feel valued. I feel heard. I feel seen. I feel excited about life. When people tell me what to do, I immediately want to not do that thing. My resistance is already like, I'm on guard. I'm already looking for ways to piss you off about how you just pissed me off, right? That's just like, I think that's human nature, or that's just, a feisty mom situation. I'm not quite sure. But when people tell me what to do, good luck, right? Now, ownership. I have to take this ownership for myself too, right? Wow. How can we learn from this in the family meal situation? How many times have you asked your family what they wanted to eat? Right? And how many times have you told them, this is what we're eating? This is what we're eating. Right? So let's take this. When somebody tells you what to do and you get pissed off, right? You get mad. Same situation, right? Tell your family what you're eating for a healthy supper and watch their eyeballs roll right out of their head and immediately tell you that's gross. And I want Jack's Pizza and I want to go out for supper and I want to do this, that, or the other thing, right? Why should they want to eat something that you said this is what we're having and that's it, right? Immediately we just put up the resistance. We just gave them an opportunity to dig their heels in and say no. Immediately get mad. Do the same thing that we do when somebody tells us how to do something or what they're doing, instead of getting our opinion, our buy-in, our ask, our whatever, right? Our input. So how can we change the game? This is the skill set. I teach you this inside a 5-minute meal plan, but this is an important step. Ask your family every week what they want to make or what they want for supper, right? You can even go so far as to ask them to help make it. That's cool. We can talk about that for another day. But first and foremost, ask what they want for supper and then honor that request, right? Honor that request. Because when you're doing that, you're getting their input, right? It's the same scenario where somebody is asking you about something, getting your input about something, getting your buy-in about something, and you're like, God, I feel like I contributed to that conversation. I feel like this person really cares about what I want, right? It's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. It's at the supper table. New dinner nights are judged as a meal. Anything that stays in our mix needs a vote of 4 thumbs up or 5 thumbs up. Exactly, right? Exactly. So it's like, get your family's opinion. Hey, you family member, what would you like for supper next week? What do you want on the supper menu next week? Give everybody an opportunity to give their input. Give your husband an opportunity. Give your kids an opportunity. Give yourself an opportunity. Right? Everybody gets a say into what goes on the menu. Get them engaged with the process. Get their voice in the mix. Allow them to have an opinion, and also allow that thing, even if you think it's not quote unquote healthy or should be on the menu, this still gets to go on the menu, right? Because there's going to be an ebb and a flow in this. Remember, we're on the marathon version of this and not the sprint. And we're in the stages of getting our family engaged and invested in eating and taking away the ish around the healthy eating, all of it, right? Like the mom's making healthy eating stuff again. Yay, guess we're going to starve tonight and whatever, right? Allow them to have a say and allow them to have an opinion. And also honor the say and the opinion, even if it's not super freaking healthy, okay? Because I'm going to teach you the habit of it all in step 3, right? The last piece of the puzzle. Here's what I do in our family, right? I eyeball balance our plates. I teach my kids how to eyeball balance their plates. I teach my husband how to eyeball balance his plate. Although they've been living with me for a while, not teaching anymore. They're just starting to do it on their own, right? So let's say your daughter is like, yo, I want macaroni and cheese. And I don't want homemade, fancy, healthy macaroni and cheese. I want Kraft, and I want it from the blue box, and I want it like I want it, like I want it. And that's what she wants on the supper menu for the week. Cool. You're going to lay that down when it's her night, right? You're going to make that in the meal or have her make it, or, however you want to arrange that inside of your family, whoever does the cooking, right? But that's going to go on that's going on that menu that day. But that's one component of a balanced meal, right? Because there's 4. Kraft macaroni and cheese is probably a carbohydrate mixed with whatever. We're just going to call it a carb for the day, right? It's a carb. But there's 4 things that go on a plate. There's a produce, aka a vegetable. There's a protein, aka chicken, grilled chicken, steak, scrambled eggs, pork loin. I mean, we could go on and on and on here. Protein is oftentimes the meats, the fish, the cottage cheeses, the dairy, like the Greek yogurts, that sort of a thing, right? So we're missing one of those because Kraft macaroni and cheese has a little bit of milk in it, but it's not a protein, right? And then there's the 4th category, which I like to call AKA make it taste good or a healthy fat, right? And that's kind of like the fun avocados, the fun guacamoles, the ranch dressing on the side, the cheese on salad, the, you get what I'm saying, right? We're making it butter on vegetables, right? We're making it taste good and we're feeling freaking good about that, right? So your daughter has said, I want macaroni and cheese. I don't want the fake macaroni and cheese, Mom, that you make, that you try to make it healthy with real noodles and shredded cheese and you try to jazz it up. I want Kraft. I want this stuff in the blue box and I want it on Tuesday. So on Tuesday, your carbohydrate is going to be that macaroni and cheese, right? And you're also going to be like, hey, I'm missing the other 3 things. Cool. Awesome. Can you just eyeball, where could you add those things? Super simple. Could you grab a rotisserie chicken on the way home from work and add that to your meal? Could you toss out a vegetable plate, some raw veggies on that table and let everybody pick what they want, right? And so in a roundabout way, you're honoring what everybody wants at the supper table, but you're also honoring that health equation where you're balancing out their meals, right? You're totally balancing out their meals. And that's seriously how you get your family on board, right? So it's the simple things. It's totally a mindset shift. Of course. Hey, I got to remember I'm in the marathon here. I'm not in the sprint, right? That's cool. Hey, I got to remember just because my family's not excited about it doesn't mean that I still can't be excited about it. Number 2, skill set. Get their buy-in. What does every member in your family, including yourself, want for supper next week? Ask them and put that request in the menu, right? Because they're going to start having fun with this eventually, right? And number 3, the habit of it all. Eyeball balance your plates. What's missing and how can you add those things in a super simple way, right? What questions do you have for me? What comments do you have? What light bulb moments came up for you? And what feels like, oh my goodness, I could maybe really totally do this. Sarah says, old mom tip, you'll never make everybody happy. Exactly, but it helps with a shift. Pureed vegetables mixed into pasta sauce. Absolutely, I do this too. Is an easy win for doctoring up pasta sauce without them knowing and for powerfully adding vegetables in there, right? My family, it's a joke in my family that everybody hates onions and I'm obsessed. I love onions. I like to add them on salads and sandwiches. I like to roast them with vegetables. Dude, we're eating them, right? And my family's like, well, mom doesn't make us eat onions. And I'm like, BS. I just learned how to put them in the Ninja first and pulverize them. And then I sprinkle them into everything. And you guys actually are eating them. You just don't know. And I love it because nobody can ever freaking tell me that they ate an onion, right? That's totally an awesome tip, which is mixing up like extra veggies that you have on hand, pureeing them, adding them into your pasta sauces to bulk them up with some vegetables, and also your family won't know, right? For sure. So again, any questions on this one, I want to hear it. And I want to remind you, this is exactly what I teach inside of the 5-minute meal plan system. A simple method of putting together your next 5 to 10 family meals in 5 minutes, right? Getting your family's buy-in, getting those meals balanced, and also like teaching you how to do it on the fly, right? Inside of 5-minute meal plan, I teach you how to cook one time and use parts of meals 2 to 3 times in awesome lunches and awesome other recipes that isn't like eating leftovers, okay? Inside of the 5-minute meal plan system, you get the downloadable instant access workbook where I walk you straight through. You get the kick-ass Simply Satisfied Masterclass where I go through and deep dive the basics of nutrition that you need to know for feeding your family healthy foods. And also how to do this on the fly and get tons of amazing inspiration from the moms that already took that class. So you're going to leave that masterclass with tons of ideas. And then you get my 20 under 20 healthy recipes prepared in under 20 minutes because I know that you would rather be outside having fun than actually making food, right? And then I love this guide, the Kick-Ass Salad Guide, how to take parts of your family suppers and turn them into kick-ass salads for lunch that fuel your energy and also satisfy your cravings so you're not rating your coworker's candy dish at 2 p.m. and also like trying to chug Mountain Dew to stay awake during the workday because you'll have energy from food and you'll feel super, super good. So thank you guys very much for being here. This was awesome. Let me know what questions you got. You guys have a good day. Bye-bye.